All right, so I'm trying to ferment some cherry brandy in the Liquor Fairy's lair while they're on vacation. And the problem I have right now, the Liquor Fairy, while they're gone out of town, they keep the AC at about 85 degrees Fahrenheit. The reason why I worry about that temperature is because we're doing a fruit wash. And fruit washes can be a little bit susceptible to warmer temperatures. Specifically, they're more vulnerable to bacterial infections, and the hotter a fruit fermentation ferments, you're more apt to blow off some of those delicious aromatic volatiles that you want to keep in there. So it's really beneficial if you can keep it at a lower temperature that's still nice and active for the yeast, but it's not going to do the things you don't want it to do. I like 70 degrees, but since I can't lower the AC, also it's the hottest summer in recorded history, so lowering the AC probably won't do very much anyway. I have to come up with another solution. So today we're going to review the INKBIRD ITC-308. This is a temperature controller that's going to solve all of our problems. If you've never heard of INKBIRD or what they do, they build these temperature controllers. You can turn a regular refrigerator into a perfectly tuned fermentation cabinet. Now normally your home refrigerator is going to keep a temperature between like 35 and 45 degrees Fahrenheit. That's great for food, but it's really not good for fermentation. So the INKBIRD solves that problem for you. Here's how it works. You plug your refrigerator into the cooling side. You got a heating side and a cooling side. Plug your refrigerator in, plug in the INKBIRD. Then we take the temperature probe that comes from the INKBIRD. And now the temperature probe is going to read the temp of your refrigerator. And now all I have to do is set my temperatures. So this is the temperature that the refrigerator is at currently. You hold the set button down for 3 seconds until you get the TS. That's your temperature setting. I'm going to set mine at 70 degrees and hold it down for 3 seconds. Now it's locked in and saved. You can see that the cooling light has come on, and you can hear the refrigerators come on, and you can already see the temperature dropping. So I'm going to hold it down again. That's our set temperature. This is our high end with a 3-degree differential. If it goes above 3 degrees from my set point, it's going to turn itself back on. This is my cold differential, also 3 degrees, so I'm giving myself a 3-degree window above and below. This is your high alarm, and it goes all the way up to 248 degrees. So you can actually set this thing to sound an alarm, say 10 degrees above what you want, just in case the refrigerator can't keep up. And then the alarm low is -40. The PT setting here is set to 0. That gives you a compressor delay. So if you have something that the temperature is going to be fluctuating wildly and the compressor is going to be coming on over and over, you can actually set it to go up to 10 minutes to give your compressor a chance to cool off. That's your temperature calibration. We keep that at 0. You can change from Fahrenheit to Celsius just by changing your arrow keys and then holding down the set button for 3 seconds. So now I don't have to worry about my cherry fermentation getting too hot. And honestly, that is incredibly helpful. If you're ever fermenting beers and it's too hot in your garage, it's not something your wife wants to have in the house because it smells, the INKBIRD is a really good way to go. I've even used this thing in a mini fridge that I took the shelving out and had just enough room to get a fermenter in there. So you don't have to go crazy and use a whole refrigerator, just something that will fit whatever size fermenter you're using. A lot of people will use these INKBIRDs in order to set up their kegerator so that they can put, all their kegs into like a chest freezer, which is normally going to freeze the crap out of anything you put in it. What is the INKBIRD actually doing? All it's doing is turning your refrigerator on and off. So when the temperature gets too warm, it turns the refrigerator on. When it gets too cold, it turns it off. That's it. But it does it really accurately. You can set it down to 1 degree of variation. It's actually a game changer. If you've been brewing beer and you want to make a lager, you need to get one of these INKBIRDs because it's going to help you to maintain those lager temperatures and to bring them up slowly as you go through your different rest stages. I actually bought my first INKBIRD years ago and I've always loved it. Here's the thing, when you're brewing for beer, you don't necessarily need to make sure things are warm enough unless you're in a cold climate or have a very cold house. When you're fermenting for distillation, sometimes you need stuff to be hotter, especially like rum washes and tequila washes, things like that really do tolerate 90s and 100s. But since this thing has a heating function, you can hook it into a heater. If you have a hot box, like a refrigerator that doesn't work anymore, that has, a heat source in it, you can use it for that too. And it'll do the exact same thing. So you can maintain cold temperatures or warm temperatures for whatever you're gonna need. So I can highly recommend INKBIRD products because I've been using them for close to a decade. All right, so the cherry wash is done fermenting. And last night I came in and I set the temperature down to 49. And then just a few minutes ago I set it to 43, just to go ahead and cool the refrigerator back down to where it's supposed to be. We're holding at 48.9 and cooling is on, so it's gonna keep on cooling down the fridge. And after I get the cherries out of here, I'm just gonna plug the fridge back into the wall and we're good to go. But the INKBIRD has worked perfectly this whole time. It hasn't fluctuated more than a degree or two, and I'm really happy with it. So we're gonna do some more experiments in the future with the INKBIRD and see if we can go the other direction. So look for that coming up in the future. So if you're interested in the INKBIRD, go ahead and check out the link I have down in the top comment and in the video description. These are around 30 bucks, and to me, they are an invaluable piece of your fermenting gear. If you need to control your temperatures for your fermentations, either hot or cold, you definitely want to think about getting one of these. So check out the link down below. All right, thanks for watching. Talk at you later.